Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about CodeIgniter model selecting all data. Okay, so before we start digging into our code, of course we need to have muna yung mga templates na kakailanganin natin. Okay? So let's go to our controller muna. So we have here yung index method natin, wherein this is the method that we're going to use to display the list of posts na meron tayo. Okay? So let's try to check out yung template files natin. So this is the table. I implemented here the table to list all the posts na mariretrieve natin coming from the database. So as you will notice guys in the part of the row, table row, so I have two columns, two TD. Okay, for the first table data, we have the title. Then for the second, we have the buttons. Okay, the view, the edit, and also for the delete. Then as you will notice dito, gumamit din ako ng site URL to generate the specific URL. It is because this is just a link lang naman. Okay? So, in each button, yung link nila is nakapoint for a specific URI, which is dito yung blog slash view, dito naman yung blog slash edit, and dito naman is yung blog slash delete. So, dito sa part ng delete, meron tayong on-click attribute wherein it has a JavaScript code of confirm. So, yung mangyayari dito, once we click that button, there's a pop-up message confirming our action if we really want to delete that particular post. Okay? Okay, so those things, guys, the view, edit, and the delete functionality of our blog will be, I'm going to discuss them in a separate video na. So in this part of the video, we focus on discussing about listing all the posts that we had inserted into our database. Okay? So ito yung sample ng ating template. So list of all the possible posts and then the buttons. Once we click the button view, it will be redirected to page view. Once we click the edit button, it will be redirected to the editing form. Then once we delete, of course, we're about to delete the specific post. But before that, there's a sort of alert message or confirmation pop-up alert that try to ask our action if we really want to delete that particular post. Okay? Okay, now let's try to go to our model. So now let's start creating our method on retrieving all the post records coming from the database. Okay, so we have here, we have this code, this dbget, wherein this post is the table name. Then the return value of that one will be stored in this particular variable. And to get the actual result coming from the database, we're going to call this particular method, which is the result. Okay, so let me try to elaborate about the get method. So there are two ways of selecting data. First, we have the query basics, wherein we're going to use the query function and then specify the query string. Note, you need to escape the data or use the query binding instead to provide a safer query. Okay? Then the other way will be the query builder class, wherein this is the method that we had used earlier. So the following function allows you to build SQL select statement. So this dbget, okay, so runs the selection query and returns the result, can be used by itself to retrieve all records from the table. Okay, so the syntax will be something like this, and the first parameter will be the table name. So once you do that, it will produce this kind of SQL statement. Okay? Note, all values are escaped automatically, producing safer query. Okay, guys? So I totally recommend you guys to use the query builder class instead of using the query function, because there's no hassle in the part of escaping your data anymore. It is because using the query builder class, it all already providing us a safer query. Okay. Okay. Now, since we already know about the get method, let's try to talk about the result method. So generating query results. So actually, there are two methods that we can use. First, we have the result method. This method returns the query result as an array of objects or an empty array on failure. So ito yung sample natin. We try to call the get method, and then after that, call the result method. So if we try to iterate that result through using for each, then this is how we do it. The data as row. Then yung row naman guys, it's up to you what kind of variable name are you going to use. Okay? Then dito, pagdating natin dito, to get the specific value for a field, we need to use the dash greater than o yung arrow na sinasabi. Okay? Since the result of this method is an object. Okay? So that's how we do it. Now, the second way is yung sinasabi nating result array method. So this method returns a query result as a pure array or an empty array when no result is produced. So comparing to the previous one, halos the same lang naman. The difference is, instead of using result method, we use the result array method. And then instead of using the arrow in retrieving the specific value of the field, we use yung square bracket. Okay? So that's how we try to get the result coming from the database. Okay, now since we already know what's the purpose of the get method and the result method, let's now jump to or back to our controller. So in our controller, we're going to add new code. Okay, so first we need to load our model, and then after that, we need to call the getAllPost method. Then since there's a result, there's a return value, it will be passed or assigned to this variable, and the data variable, we're going to pass it to the view for displaying purpose. Okay. Now let's jump to the view template files natin. So in here, I try to check if the result is not empty. So if hindi siya empty, then that's the only time that we're going to iterate to the list of records or posts. Now, kung walang laman yung result natin, then pwede tayong mag-display ng no result found. Okay? For the else part here. But I didn't put any else on this part. So it's up to you na lang guys if you're going to do that. Okay? Okay, so in this part, since meron namang laman, so I'm going to iterate the result using this one. And since there are two columns, for the first column, I'm going to retrieve the value of the title using the arrow. Then for this one, for the buttons, I also indicate already here the ID of the specific record. Okay, so in the part of the site URL, we try to indicate here yung mga segments na, including the ID. So for the first segment of the URI, it will be the blog. Then the second segment will be the view. And the third segment it will be the ID, which is the third segment. So this third segment will become the first parameter of the method view. Okay? Same thing with the edit. Same thing with the delete. Okay? It will become the first parameter rather in our methods. Okay, guys? So let's try to check it out. So ito na yung mga list of records coming from the database that we added before. Okay, so if we're going to add new post, then it will be list on that particular post as well. Okay? Okay guys, so basically that's how we manage on retrieving all the posts coming from our database and then display it into our template files, basically in a form of table. Okay, so that's how we do it, guys. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. So I hope you learned something new today regarding our topic, which is about CodeIgniter model, selecting all data. Okay, so if you did, please click thumbs up and please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will not be missed our upcoming videos. Okay, guys? So just like I always say, just keep practicing and never stop learning. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye for now.